Hey guys, good morning. It is um, almost 9 a.m. where I am. I wonder what time it is for you. Almost 9 a.m. Now, um, this is a tough one, right? Let's be honest. This is a super. Can't believe. Yeah, I don't know how you found this stream, but this is something that gets you kicked off of everything, right? It's like, oh my God, you are such a sexist. You are such a bigot. You gotta go. You gotta go. You just gotta stop talking about this. Now, my plan is to take you through every single step of the reason why I know this to be true. This is a fact. Men are better than women and always will be. There's nothing is going to change that. Men are better than women. And when you say, okay, so first of all, men and women, right? Okay, men, um, there's only two genders. We know what men are and we know what women are. It's very simple. Done. I'm done playing your games about gender is the social construct and, a woman can become a man just by saying that she's a man. Like, that's got to be one of the dumbest things ever. For people that don't like religion, I mean, like a religious person says, all you got to do is accept God, and then into your heart, or Jesus into your heart, and then you get to go to heaven. For the other side to say, well, I just decided that I'm a man today, so that means I'm a man, and the entire world must treat me as if I'm a man. See, that last part is the evil part, by the way. We don't care what you call yourself, but the fact that you demand that everybody else treats you that way, that's when you've crossed the line to being a complete and fucking utter douchebag, an asshole, a fucking cunt, a fucking evil, disgusting human being. You don't get to force yourself onto anyone. I thought, see, it's easy to see who is the wrong person in any situation. All you got to do is figure out who was the first, the number one, the first person to bring in force. 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 Get that word inside your head. Force into the situation. So as soon as you start to impose yourself on others, as soon as you start to force your will and your ideas onto other people, that equals you being the asshole. It's one thing. Okay, so back in days gone by, gays like myself were like, well, you just keep, like you keep driving around in cars and you keep hunting us down and beating us up. It was called gay bashing. Could you please stop doing that? Could you please stop going out of your way, calling up your buddies, going for a drive, seeing a homo, piling out of the car and beating the fuck out of him, and then piling back into your car and then drive off? That's what gay rights was. Just leave us alone. But then the pendulum just kept swinging and swinging and swinging. And now it's like, if you don't call me by my pronouns, I am going to, you are a hate speecher, and now we're going to cancel you and maybe put you in jail and do all the rest. And then all the kids, indoctrinating them, mushing up their brains into thinking that they're trannies and taking drugs and all of this other stuff, right? Bake my cake, you asshole. As soon as somebody is forcing another person to do something, you don't have a right to anyone else's anything. You do not have a right to anyone else's anything. That means their business, that means their time, that means their labor, that means their money. You do not. So it's very easy to find out who is the a-hole in a given situation. Days gone by, many, 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 many years ago when the gay bashings were happening, right? It was the straight people. You know, hey, we get it, folks, over there in Straightville. You don't like us, you know, just leave us alone. How about not going out of your way and coming to our neighborhoods and, you know, being a cowardly fuck, you know, and do a gang violence on a homo, you know? How about not being an asshole, straight people? How about not doing that? And then eventually they said, okay, we're going to stop doing that. And then it was good for a couple of decades, right? Yeah, there was little trickles of it still left over. But it was good for 10 years, and then 20 years, and then 30 years. And then fucking the SJW crazy lefty fucking lunatics are like, no, now we're going to start to force ourselves on them. If you don't, if I'm a transsexual, and if you don't want to date me, then that means you're a hateful bigot. Really? So I have to date you? You're forcing me to date you? Yeah, and if you don't want your kid to do the tranny stuff, then you're a hateful bigot. We're going to take your kid away, and so on. And just, so it's gone way too far. It's gone the other way. The first person to include, to incorporate, to do the force. And you can extrapolate this to anything, 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 anywhere. Okay? You can extrapolate that to anything, in any situation, anywhere. Let me fix that camera. My cat's tail was messing it up. So that cat, that's my drink, by the way. My coffee. That's my hand. And that's my cat. That's one of them. His name is Skipper. And that is the arm of my chair. And my left arm is going to pet him on the head right now. There we go. Anyway. Cat cam today. And he was outside all night, so he's extra cuddly when they, you know, because when I put my arm down, right, it's going to be resting on him, so he'll get a pet, so he'll get extra. That's why they like the arms of chairs, because it's right under where you're going to put your arm, so they get extra cuddles. Anyway. So, we know what men are, and we know what women are. And I'm not playing no games. This whole, you are whatever you say you are at that time, because, you know, see, as soon as you said that gender is a social construct, then you rendered it meaningless, but then you obsess about it. You're saying that it's meaningless, but now all you do is obsess about, you know, the haircut girl a little while ago. I go out of my way in every way, shape, and form, every single way, shape, and form, to exclude myself from the binary norms. I do 100% of everything to remove myself from all social norms of male and female. All of them. Unfortunately, I have these lumps. She was talking about her breasts as terrible, you know, indicators of femaleness, right? They're lumps on her torso, just lumps, like she hates them because they you know, identify her as one thing or another. They're lumps, right? She goes out of her way to exclude herself from all social norms, except for these fucking lumps on her chest. And damn them, right? Those fucking lumps. And then she's like, oh, I'm such a victim. I don't know where to go get a haircut. I mean, these people are just fucking insane. This is not the gay rights that we were fighting for. This is a mental retardation beyond mental retardation. I mean, literally, you're like, okay, in this school or in this neighborhood, you have to wear red. That's the rule. That's the social norm. You have to wear red. You have to wear red. You have to wear red if you want to live in this neighborhood. I don't know why. It's dumb. I'm just pulling something out of my ass. You have to wear red. You have to wear red. The only color allowed to wear is red. And then this person comes around wearing green. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do. Yeah, and then just being angry at everybody for not accepting them. That's what this is. Somebody who is intentionally removing themselves from all social norms, and no matter how wide you make them, they're going to try to remove them and remove them and remove them to the point where they actually hate themselves. Right? She hates herself. These lumps on my chest. They're fucking breasts. They're going to feed babies one day if you get your shit together. And men tend to like them. But whatever, right? Yeah, so, like, I don't even know this gay everything. I ain't got no time for it. And like all gay people, all people in these groups, black people, I think there's some black conservatives, black reasonable people that aren't fucking blaming white guys all over the place. That's fucking great. There's fucking women that are like, this feminism has gone way too fucking far, and it's stupid and it's retarded and it's off the wall. And I'm the gay one. I'm like, this fucking gay shit is gone way out of hand, and it needs to be reined back in. You don't have to go back into the closet, but you do have to take it back to your fucking bedroom. And what do I mean by that? Is, first of all, this sexy, sexy, sexy stuff, it's a private matter that you need to take back to your bedroom. Sex is private. Fuck off with doing it in public and take it away. Seriously. Take it back to your bedroom. All of it. And your bedroom is your private space. Like, this is your property. Your home is your private property. Private. Right? So that's where you get to, that's where you are king. You are king in your own home. You are a king or a queen or whatever in all of your own, of all the things that you own. Private. I can't say that word enough. Private property. This is your belongings. This is you. Your property is an extension of you. You. This is you. You do whatever the fuck you want there. Not having to go back in the closet, that's more of a metaphor for, having to stay hidden, even in your own home. You had to stay hidden everywhere. Out in public, and in your own home, with your families, and But you don't have to go back to the closet, but you do have to take it fucking back into your bedroom. This is your space. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can be as crazy, looky dookie. You can cut off all the body parts. You can attach all the body parts. Nobody gives a fuck what you're doing. As long as everybody else in there is not getting hurt, right? But as soon as you start to take your kooky looky wookie dookie that you do in the bedroom, and you're just like, oh, everybody's got to be okay with my kooky looky dookie shookie. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't have to like it one bit. And actually, they can take a look at your kooky looky wookie dookie and say, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Fuck off. I don't want to have anything to do with you. You're fucking doing all your kooky looky dookie wookie all over the place. I don't want to have nothing to do with that. They are voluntarily disassociating with you. This is okay for them to do. It's their business. Now, the problem is the common spaces, right? And this is always the problem of the commons. Your streets and your public, the public. That's why I was using the word private. So the public spaces, there's always a problem. It's like we have to agree, which we don't, and I don't want to. We shouldn't have to. Everything should be private. And the rules are set of the private space by the owner. 100% everywhere. Everything should be that way. That makes me a libertarian. There should be no public spaces. And that's where the problem comes is because now we are going to fight one another and we're going to disagree on what is acceptable out there in public. On those public spaces. Is it okay to walk around naked? Is it okay to poop? Is it wherever you want? It's a public space. We're going to always disagree. And that's the source of conflict. And it's a forever source of conflict, and the government knows that, and they love it. Because as long as we're fighting each other, we're not fighting them. Right? It's a distraction tool. But anyway, so we know what men and women are. There's only two genders. And by the way, I know all the colors of the rainbow. I am gay. I am old. And I've seen it all. I've seen the actual hatred. What you call homophobia. I've actually seen it. You haven't. You just imagine it. You pretend. It's gone. It's been gone for a long time. It's been fucking gone. And now you guys are trying to bring it back? That's my problem with gay activism these days, is they're trying to bring it back. They're trying to push themselves and force themselves and push and push and push and push and push and force and force and force and force and force themselves on other people that don't want to have nothing to do with this shit. Teaching butt sex and you know, kindergarten and all this garbage. Fucking drag queens, the probably scummiest of the scum in gay. The scummiest of the scum. You know, getting a drag queen to read stories to kids, that would be like looking for babysitters on the sex offender registry list. I'm not kidding. Or we got a Girl Scout troop. We got a girls brownie troop. Young little girls. And we want a girl to lead them. So why don't we go down to the strip club? There's lots of girls at the strip club. Why don't we go down to the strip club and find a girl that we can hire to, you know, take our young girls on camping trips? It's fucking stupid. You are literally pulling out the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. I get it. Hollywood is painting these drag queens as stunning and brave all over the place, but they're not. They're drug addicts. They're prostitutes. They'll fucking rip you off. Steal all your money. They're fucking scumbags. They're prostitutes. They're drug addicts. They're alcoholics. Yes, there's exceptions. But most of them are just scumbags. Barflies. They live in the bar. They live in drugs. They live in alcohol. If you got money, they want it, so they'll do fucking anything for it. Including all the kooky wookie looky dookie stuff. All of it. So, it's all dumb. Everything about this is dumb. And it's all being, everything that was gained in gay is being tossed away by gay. Drag queens were meant for gay bars only and gay underground culture. Drag queens equal scummy scum, but they're a little bit entertaining and they're kooky looky wookie dookie. So it kind of breaks up the night of sitting there drinking your life away because you don't have a family because you're gay. So you need some entertainment, but there isn't a whole lot of money going around, so you just get some guy to dress up in a dress and act like a kooky wookie dookie wookie. I understand I've hired them for my bar. I know all the colors of the rainbow. I know even multi-sex people. I know women who bound their breasts because they were cross-dressers. I know all the colors of the rainbow. And it's all gone way too fucking far. You all need to fuck off. Shut up, get back to the fucking fag bill, and shut up. And I'm not joking. You're fucking pissing me off. The backlash from all of you guys being fucking, you gotta accept me, you gotta use my pronouns, I'm a special, everybody's gay, everybody's gay, everybody's queer, everybody's gay. If you don't suck my female penis, then you're a bigot. All this garbage, gobbledygook. I'm telling you, I'm with the homophobes. The way you guys are acting all fucking wacko retarded. Leave fucking kids alone. 100%. Stay away from kids. Unless you are supervised. If you're a gay uncle, and your gay sister or brother is around or whatever, that's, hey, or they say it's specifically okay, then fine. Otherwise, fuck off. Leave the kids alone. Shut up about gay. Gay is not a good thing. See, this is where you started the whole this is where things go off the rails. Gay, in your brain, gay equals good. Whatever. Replace gay with lesbian or bi or queer or any of the other fucking letters of the alphabet, whatever the fuck. I don't even know what half of those mean. I don't. And I don't care. Because it's activist bullshit. It's activist fucking commie scumbaggery. Scum buckets are using all of that fucking language, scum ass bullshit. I ain't got no time for any of it. So you started with the wrong premise, and we'll get to the men versus women. Men are better than women and always will be soon. But you started off with the lie that gay equals good. And no, it's not. Gay equals bad. Gay is actually broken straight. A gay person is a broken straight person. It is a bad thing. Gay equals broken. Now, it's not the end of the world, right? It's just like blind. If you're blind, you equal a broken sighted person. I am broken. I am gay. And actually, I don't have very good eyesight either. But anyway, we know what normal is, and you are abnormal. And as much as you want to fuck around with the language, I don't care. I don't care. You start with the stupid lie of gay equals good. Oh, it's just so stunning and brave, and it's just great. It's great all over the place. You know, it's super mega perfect. It's just like being straight. It's the same thing as being, it's just as good as being straight. And maybe it's even better because we're super woke. That's all bullshit. Gay equals broken. And I don't care what you have to say or think about it. I don't care. I am so over listening to your dumbassery. I'm over it. I don't care. Oh, you type. Oh my goodness, he's a homophobe. No, I am an extreme truth teller. Extreme. Listen to me. Extreme. And I don't care what you have to say. If you got some facts or figures or a reasonable argument or something for me to look at, then fine. But all of these, blue-haired dykes, all in teaching courses and teaching everybody how to be, all of the other, college kids to be blue-haired dykes, fucking wacko moles, and you got filled libraries with all of your BS, all the BS. It all spawns. If you go back to the beginning of all of that, it's gay equals good. And no, it's not. Gay equals bad. And you have to, it's just like being deaf. Right? Being deaf is not a good thing. Having one arm is not a good thing. It's not the end of the world. You can live with it. And we got to wonder how much, if anything, the world will help us out. Rearrange the world so that we can get along in this world, right? But that's the way it goes. Sorry. See, once you start with stupid, then you just go down. See, it's like a train, and you veered, or like a road, but no, more like a train. Let's say a train, and you went down the wrong track. But the problem is this wrong track doesn't meet up with the old track anytime soon, and you just get further and further and further and further and further away from the truth, from reasonable, from common sense, from decency, from anything good. You just keep going off in your own. See, you started with stupid, and it made you go off in a direction. It's the same thing with the tranny stuff. People are starting to see the problem with, oh, yeah, I've decided I'm a girl now, so then the guy walks into the girls' bathrooms and does the girls' sports and all the whatever, right? As soon as you went down a road stupid, and then it just keeps getting stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider and stupider until you're at mountain stupid and everything is gone. You've made everything crumble to the ground, which is the purpose of the communists. They want to burn everything to the ground, right? But anyway, So yeah, don't go down the road of stupid. And the gay stupid road was gay equals good. No, gay does equal bad, just like the straights thought about a long time ago. They had that correct, but they were overreacting to it. Gay equals bad, but sometimes bad happens. Sometimes people, are blind. What are you going to do? Just kill them all? You know, can we not be a little bit more compassionate society? Can bad exist, and us we can continue to live with bad, and coexist with bad, and go, okay, well, let's label it as bad because it is, but can we deal with it? Can we get around it? Can we do this thing? Can we coexist with bad? Well, as long as bad behaves, which it's not these days, as long as bad behaves and doesn't get too stupid and out of control, then sure, we can handle bad, which is the way things were going, but not these days. And a lot of it has to do with feminism and how just these wacky chicks have just gotten fucking full of themselves. They've all gotten emotionally completely fucking retarded stupid, and then they're dragging everybody else with them. They're trying to, this intersectional feminist crap, and then it just grows, and it's just like a gross, disgusting fucking grossness, and it tries to bring in the POCs and everything else into their fucking stupid ideology of sort of equality, but fucking mental retardation. Because feminism worked really well, so they just bring all of the other stuff underneath that umbrella, and then they all just go fucking mentally retarded together. Just fucking insane. So, men are better than women. Okay, so once again, let's rewind. We know what men are and we know what women are, and shut up if you don't agree. I ain't got no time for your dumbassery. None. Men, penises, women, vaginas. That's it. That's how it is. Now, better than. You could say that better is a subjective statement, which you would be right, but let's be honest, it's not all subjective. Like, I'm going to ask you, would you rather me give you $10 or $100? Which is better? Right? Which is better, being tall or short? Which is better, being strong or weak? Which is better, being smart or dumb? We got to stop being, so special snowflakey that, see, like, you can, subjectivity and objectivity, it's a continuum. It's like the left-right paradigm, right? Political paradigm, which, by the way, is kind of fake. Anyways, totalitarian and libertarian is a better line to work with. But they don't want us to talk about that, so that's why they changed it to left-right. Just to confuse. But anyway, so better than is not just subjective. You go, well, better for one person isn't better for everyone, Maybe somebody has too much money and they don't want your $100, so $10 is better. And I'm just going to say, oh, fuck off. Do we have to hashtag not all everything? Hashtag not all. Hashtag not all. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but exceptions to the rule prove the rule. I hate this. Black people have black skin. Not all. Hashtag not all. There's albino black people, They don't have black skin. Oh my God, shut up. Really, shut up. So, I don't play that stupid snowflake thing over here either. So if you get triggered by generalizations, then you should probably just go away. Now, I guess I should have my own website up. Why not? So, we know what men are better than women means. Better is not just completely subjective. You know, some people prefer to be weak rather than strong because then they can get other people to do the things. Oh, shut up. Some people would prefer to be stupid. Some people would consider being stupid better than being smart because if you know too much, then the world can be complicated and it would be so much simpler if we were just stupid. Shut up. Okay, so we know what better means. Now, so men are better than women at everything. Now, what do I mean by everything? I mean everything. I mean, there's so few things that women are better than men at that they're not even worth mentioning. All of the things that you would think that women should definitely, it should be a gimme that they're better at. Taking care of children, raising children, cooking, doing hair, doing makeup, making clothes. These are things that they have historically done always. But guess what? No, men are better at all those things too. It's crazy. I mean, literally, there are things that women should definitely guaranteed be better at, but they're not. They're still not. And that's insane. That is an insane idea. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so when I say everything, I mean everything. Now, let me fix the cat cam. I'll wait till he sits down. Well, that should be good. If I don't pet him for too long, then he'll want to move. And when I get talking, I get focused on my speeches, and I don't rest to break because it breaks my train of thought. Anyway, so what do I now? All of these things that women do out in the world, like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, okay, I guess now's an okay time. Women can still do things, and if they set their mind to it, they can do things better than men. They're not useless. Like, that's a dumb idea. There's sometimes women can do some things better than some men. But these are rare instances. Like, men are bigger, stronger, smarter. They are superior in every way. And we'll get to the reasons. Don't worry. I'm going to explain it all. Men are superior in every way. Bigger, stronger, smarter, everything. But that doesn't mean all men, hashtag not all men are bigger, stronger, and smarter than all women. But we need to start telling each other the truth. Because you're really pissing me off. And, once you start to go down the road of stupid, it just takes you to places you don't want to be. And one of the biggest ones it used to be women are equal to men, and then it sort of warped into women are smarter than men, and it's gone down the road of stupid, so far fucking stupid that it's unbelievably stupid. It's incredibly stupid. the road that we've gone down. And it's all to break up the family, get Chicky Poos to go to work and pay taxes and keep paying, providing for the government, provide for Big Daddy government, keep paying. Fuck the kids, fuck the kids, fuck the kids. Actually, don't even have them in the first place or abort them. We'll bring in other wage slaves from other countries. We'll bring them in and just make sure you keep giving us the slave tidings. Yeah, before we used to take all the money and then just give a little bit to the slaves, but now we've learned that letting the slaves decide what slave work they want to do, it's more productive. So then we force them to give half of their shit to us, taxes and licenses and fees and ba 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 ba. So slavery this way, the current way, is more productive. Capitalism, slavery, well, as long as you mix the capitalism with, see, it's not pure capitalism, just having a touch of capitalism with our big daddy government, that is more productive for the slave owners at the top, all the government employees that just keep sucking up all of your productivity, and then they keep putting more people on welfare so that they get so they keep voting for Big Daddy government. They put them in the same category even though they're poor as fuck. But then I don't know, not going there. So now, where was I going with that? Yeah, well, I think that's it. Women have gone down, they've turned, like they had a train track, and then they were like, yeah, these evil people in a room said, how do we get Chicky Poos out to work? Now, some say it was World War II. A lot of really bad things happened in World War II, including Chicky Poo working. Women can talk about how stunning and brave it is to go out there and work, but really, that's got to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. You're so fucking dumb. It's really stunning and brave to go out there and work. Well, yeah, I was bored at home, so I wanted to go out there and mix it up. Well, nobody said that you had to sit at home and do nothing. Take your kids, all 5 of them, and then go to the old folks' home and spend the day with the old people, or go to the library, or plan picnics and get the entire community going. That was another job that women were supposed to do. It's stay at home, take care of the kids, the home, the family, the husband, that stuff. But it was also to build community. Get together with all the neighbors and plan this weekend's big weekend barbecues and get cooking and having people come over and have some fun and the girl next door, you're going to do a book club, and then you're going to all get together and go to the park, and then great aunt's 60th birthday party, and then this and then that and then that and then this, right? Build community instead of fucking be all isolated here in your little castle with your little kitty poos. Nobody said you had to fucking like that was another part of this thing, build community. But now you're not building no community because you got to work, send your kids to daycare. It's all stupid. It's all about control. It's always been about control. It's been about the government controlling you. And they've convinced you, girly poos, chicky poos, to fucking put work over family. And that's about as evil as it gets, right? Anyway, so nobody's saying that women can't do stuff. Like, when women do go out there and do, like some things are so incredibly easy to do that anybody can do them, right? There's no, like, if you just, like, if you're literally working on an assembly line and all you have to do is grab this item and take it off of this line and put it on this line, you're just literally with your arm moving it. Now, maybe the strength of your arm and your shoulder or something. Or maybe you're just an inspector. You just sit there at a chair and you watch all of the items, the widgets go by, and you're literally just sitting there watching them to make sure that they're A-okay, and you just take out the bad ones or something, or make sure that they're straight, ready for the next piece of the machinery to fill them up or whatever. Sure, anybody can do it, and all they need is a warm body. They just need somebody to come in every day and do that. And it doesn't matter. So in this, you could say, yeah, you're equal, but that's not what we're talking about, right? You know, like I said, when I was a young kid, our teachers, all female, of course, um, you know, I remember this one little girl coming up to me, and she just like, you know, girls are smarter than boys, you know, and then she would run away. And I was like, really? And the talk was there, and this is the 70s. The talk was there. This is the, you know, women are going all in. Like, you know, and it's just not true. In every single everything, everything. I'm not imagining this. I'm not pulling this out of my butt. Men are smarter in every way, stronger, obviously. Look at sports. Every body part of a man. Sports, the fact that men and women have to do it different, sports actually equals, right? Male body parts are superior to female body parts. That's what the skill level of sports mean, and it's not just at the top. If you get normal town, Normalville, normal whatever, normal America, you just get the girls softball team and the boys softball team, right? And you have them play one another. It's not just at the top. It's at the medium and the bottom too. Like, I remember when, you know, girls are yippity yappity, they just won't fucking shut up about stupid. It's like they ain't got a husband, especially the lesbians. They ain't got a husband to nag and to scream at and to vomit up all their stupid. So they just scream into the air for other men to hopefully hear them. And I'm just like, gosh, shut up. But, you know, what about, I remember that story about the Australian women's champion team. Australia, a small country, but still large in size, but Australia's number one. World champions. They won the world champion soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. Champion. They're number one in the world. Number one chickie poos in the world at soccer. And they played a 14-year-old boys. Now, I don't know. They were probably champion 14-year-old boys. 14. Just puberty plus maybe 1 or 2 years. Women enter puberty, especially without men around. They enter puberty sooner. But they played 14-year-old boys, and they lost 7-0. The tippity top of women's soccer. Tippity top. There's nothing tippity topper than the world champion women's soccer team. Played 14-year-old boys, and they lost 7-0, something like that. Look it up. Put a link down in the comments below. That's just the way things are. Hate to break. I'm sorry. Does it hurt your feelings? Well, I don't care. The truth is the truth. Train the best of the best of the best of the best girls. Probably, you know, early 20s. The height of their strength, the height of their everything. Maybe all throughout their 20s. I'm not sure how perfecty. the ages are for soccer, especially for women. But the 14-year-old boys certainly ain't it. We're not seeing any 14-year-old boys out there playing with the boys in their biggity big tournaments, right? No, they're all in their 20s or 30s. So my brain goes to your 20s and 30s. It probably means that you're at the tippity top of everything. And what was it? There was an old tennis champion who was asked to play some tippity top girl tennis. I think it was Serena and her sister, both, one at a time. Play one and then play the other. And this guy went out the night before, got stinking drunk. He came in the next day to work to play tennis, and he's old. He was like 50 or 40 or something like that. Retired for a long time, and he was hungover, and he still kicked their ass. Like, he beat them. You know, Serena Williams has actually come out on a talk show, and she said men's sports are on a completely different level. Men's tennis is a completely different sport to women's tennis. And hey, if you're telling the truth, if you're being honest, especially when it breaks down one of these boys and men are equal to women, you know. And this is a black woman, so if you want to call her racist and sexist, you go right ahead. You want to call her a bigot, you go right ahead. And Serena Williams came out, yeah, no, men's sports is on such a different level that it's not even the same sport. We're both playing tennis, and we kind of have the same rules, although men play 5 sets or whatever it is, and girls only play 3 because they don't have the stamina. Again, another indicator, right? It's just, I mean, it's forever. Why do we have to keep playing this stupid game? Just so that, you know, because one of the reasons is you had to convince the employers to hire women. You had to convince them to hire women. You had to brainwash them and fill their head full of stupid in order for them to say, okay, yeah, we'll hire women to come into work. It's because they're just as good as the men, right? It doesn't matter. It's just boobs and a vagina versus a penis. No difference. We're all just the same thing. No difference. So that was the entire mindset. And now now it's just like, and the trans always, is coming up, right? Trans folks are, male to female are getting into the female sports and just kicking ass. Now, sure, these trans people are gross and disgusting, but they're challenging this equality thing. You guys have been yipping and yapping about equality for how long now? If you're so equal, why is it that male to female, playing your sports, they're always kicking your ass? And I would say that it's a really good in your face example to women that men are superior to them. Let the trans, do the sports, because it proves it enlightens every single woman. Every single time that 13-year-old girl loses the sport to a guy that calls himself a girl, she realizes that, well, men are actually superior. But it shouldn't have needed this, but it's a right-in-your-face example. This is why I actually approve of it. And it's only to teach lessons. The trans folk are all stupid, but so were the girls coming into the sport, with the big puffed out chest, like, oh, see, I'm doing these things like boys are doing, and I'm equal to boys, and it's undoing that brainwashing. And what I have to say about to the women that say, well, it's just sports, it's just physical activity. Sure, okay. What they'll say is, okay, I will finally admit that the male body is superior to the female body at all of these physical activities, which is basically just means the male body is superior to the female body. But women are just as smart as men. They won't. I'm like, really? So you think every single body part of a man is superior to yours because sports is the example, right? But you think that that superiority ends at the neck? Male superiority ends at the neck. It doesn't travel up to the head, which includes the brain, which, by the way, you have a the spinal cord and the going down your back, but I don't know how to zoom in with this camera, so that's all you get with the cat cam. Him sleeping. Skipper is his name. So yeah, you think that like when we do all these physical activities, men are light years beyond women, but you think that that superiority ends at the neck? Yeah, I do. Women are just as smart as men. Well, no, we have all of the data on that too, and that's not true either. But actually, when you think about all the things, everything, all the things that led up to all the things surrounding everything, you go, it's just stupid. It's all just dumb. And then you go, why would society want this? And you go, oh, because they needed to convince employers to hire women because the slave owners, those tippity top people that suck up all of your tax money and own you and just, they have decided that the way that you are going to be their slave is by having a little bit of choice. We'll do a little bit of capitalism, but we control the fuck of it, and we need and we wanted more. We destroy the family so that they all are big daddy government, right? Destroy the family. Let's get her out here to work because she's not equal, but she can still do stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on at work that anybody can do. Even a handicapped person could do, right? Like, there's a lot of things. But as soon as you start to, that it really shows when you're starting to push the body to extremes in any way, whether it be the brain to extremes with thinking, or the body to extremes with lifting heavy things, or anything in between, just moving the body in specific directions like gymnastics. All of these things. And then somebody's going to come out there and say, women are more flexible than men. And I'm going to say, really? You got one thing in the entire thing because they make babies and and all that. They're more flexible. Okay, we'll give you that. You're more flexible. Good job, ladies. You're more flexible than men. And that's it. But I mean, but see, like I said, when it just spawns into all this stupid, right? Women are literally going to ditch their kids into daycare because they think that they're, and then they bully themselves, and then you get all this extra Me Too stuff when things ain't going so good with them at work. You put a girl in charge of your company, and then it goes tits up, right? I mean, there's some girls that can, like I said, they can do stuff. Like at a mid level, they're at a low level, they are kind of equal. A low level thinking or low level physicality, like let's just say delivering the mail. Like both men and women can do that equally, but it's a really low level thing. All you got to do is walk to a house and put the mail in the box. Walk to the house, walking. Yes, women are equal to men at that, but that's not what we're talking about. Yes, both men and women can clean a toilet. Woohoo. Does that mean we're equal? No. Like, there's another area of life where women get close. They're not equal to men, but these are their gifts, right? These are their strengths. And guess what they are? Do you know? Do you know what? They're not, forget about flexibility. That's just so dumb. um, which is true. Women are more flexible than men, but I mean, oh my god. Uh, and that's pretty much it. Seriously, that's it. That's all there is for female superiority. Um, but there are other areas where actually women get pretty close. And believe it or not, for some reason, it's not cooking or cleaning or taking care of the house. Probably because it's a really low level thing. Like all of the best chefs in the world are men. The best housekeepers are men. The ones actually doing all the girly stuff, they're all gay men, but they're still men. The hair and the makeup and the designing clothes, all gay men, right? It's a man with a female sensibility. Like I'll explain one day where gay comes from. And see, once you truly understand the common sense gay stuff, then you know, it just takes the fear out of stuff. And it takes the stupid out of the fucking propaganda. Right? It removes the propaganda. It just think clearly about things and then you can move on. You can continue on with life in a meaningful, reasonable way. But when you start with stupid, then it's just you keep like it's a train track. And common sense, normal, like everyday life, common sense, facts, reason, evidence, common sense, just you're going down this road, this train track. And then as soon as you introduce a stupid idea, then it's a fork in the road. And then now you're lost. You're gone. You're out of there. And that stupid idea spawns other stupid and more stupid and more stupid until you have like a fucking, you're in fucking the Rocky Mountains and the train, couldn't. The little train that couldn't. It just you fucked everything up. It's all gone. And you're so far away from normal common sense, reasonable. But when you're a government, right, and your job is to maintain power over people, which is an immoral thing to do. It's a bad, negative thing to do. That's where that's where most of this stupid comes from. Why are these bad, immoral, taxation is theft, murderous, constant wars, constant stealing money? Where are all these garbage individuals coming up with these stupid ideas? Well, garbage begets garbage. You have one garbage idea which is, we should all be slaves and give half of our money to the government because they're all just great, fantastic, wonderful people that are going to spend it so incredibly wisely and just do all the, spread sunshine and roses everywhere, which no, they don't, ever. They do one good thing and 10 bad things. That's the government. They do enough good just to maintain the bad. Anyway, like slavery a long time ago, we got to start speaking out against this shit. It's the government. It's hilarious, like an AOC or a Bernie Sanders is just pray to the big daddy government. They want more government. And then they call Trump Hitler. He's the most evil thing ever. Well, which is it, dumbass? And it doesn't make any sense because it's not supposed to make sense. On one hand, they're, give all of the everything to the government. Just let the government run everything. But look at our government today. It's a fucking ran by an evil bastard. Now, you could say that, well, it's just we need the good person up there. And well, what happens after that good person? How are you going to say that the next person is going to be good? Which, by the way that the Democrats keep going, it's like as long as they got a D beside their name, that equals a good person. So they're not even ideological. They don't even care what is good or what's bad. As long as they're a Democrat, then that means good. I can have my criticisms of Trump. I absolutely do. All over the place. There's tons of criticisms. I think Bush was a fucking zero. He was such an asshole. He was a gross, disgusting, gross. He was gross to all of humanity in every way. He was a terrible president. But now Ellen DeGeneres is trying to, get people to smile at him and wink and nod. Well, at least he's not Trump. Oh my God, you guys don't make any fucking sense. You gotta use your fucking brain and use it all the time. And you don't. And it drives me insane. Anyway. So, where was I? I guess let's just continue. So I hope, like when I ask the stranger on the street, if men are better than women, or if are men equal to women, they always say yes. Yes, they say. And I say, well, what about sports? And then it's easy to break that down. Well, what about making babies? Are men and women equal? Well, no, it's pretty different in the baby making department. Well, what about in height? What about in strength? What about, but see, the more difficult one, which, of course, the lefties don't like IQ tests. Of course they don't, because they're obsessed with equality, just to maintain power. They don't really care anything about equality. They're just using it in order to fucking further their commie goals. You're like, there's no communism with equality. China, Russia. There's no equality going on there. It's just about a power. They just have the power to do whatever the fuck they want. Just all the power to the Communist Party, and that's all there is. And they just used equality to get there. See, we're going to be super nice and super equal. What? Women can be equally as miserable as men? Is that it? Yep. Okay. Well, at least you were honest there. So, yes. So in every measurable, okay, so in the brain, it's completely unreasonable. Okay, so we prove, because sports proves that the male body is superior to the female body, right? Now, but you're going to say, well, that's just physical stuff. And some people will say, okay, I can accept that. Most people have to, because it's right fucking there, right? They kind of have to accept that. But then they say, well, but the brain is different. No, it's not. The male of the same race, the male is about 5 to 10 IQ points higher than women. And if you're white, then that means anywhere between 5 and 10% smarter. And that's on a good day, folks. Because once you add menstrual cycles, yes, that time of the month does make you crazy. It's like sometimes it's okay to mention that and sometimes it's not. But that time of the month when you're going crazy. Okay, well, so first of all, we have a general excess of estrogen, which creates more emotion. So generally, women are prone to being over-emotional rather than rational. So if you're being emotional, you're not thinking straight, right? And that would make you less intelligent when you let the emotion, your estrogen, get the better of you. And then you add in the imbalance of all of that, the emotions going all out of whack every month, right? That affects IQ pretty significantly. Like the IQ difference, that is on a good day. But when you add your general set of emotions, and if you're prone to emotional outbursts or emotional thinking, then that takes you away from facts and figures and intelligence. Like, if you are doing the business thing and you give the project, right? If you give the project to the person you like rather than the best person suited for the job, that is when you're letting your emotions take priority, and that was a stupid decision. And that is how emotional thinking can make you stupid, right? Because from a company perspective, you should have put, if you were a manager of some sort, you should have put the best person for the job on it, not your friend. Now, so because women are excessively emotional, that affects it. And again, when you're doing an IQ test, you're sitting there looking at facts and figures. You're generally not letting your emotions. So again, men are smarter on a good day, but then when you add the general emotional state of women, then that adds even more of an intelligence difference. And then you add, um, menstrual cycles, where you're crazy all over the place, to varying degrees. Sometimes very little, sometimes very much. Or cramps, right? When you're in pain, are you really being intelligent? Or are you just worried about the pain? Oh, I got a cramp. Oh, right? That changes things out. Menopause. So for the older women, you think it's better. No, menopause can be years and years and years of, oh, you're sitting there at work and you go, oh fuck, the heat. Oh my god. All I can think about is my body is burning up. Well, you're not being very intelligent while that's happening. But then things get even worse. You have a bunch of propaganda and you have a chip on your shoulder about being inferior, because that is a reality. Every time a woman is having sex with a man, she understands that he's superior. He can pick her up and spin her around and put her back on the bed. She can't do that. She understands his superiority over her. And with the propaganda and the bullshit of feminism and all of the gobbledygook going on in everything, because you're less intelligent, you are more susceptible to stupid people are more susceptible to stupid ideas. Right? Stupid people are more susceptible to stupid ideas that can fill in the blank. Come on, guys. Fill in the blank. Stupid people are susceptible to stupid ideas, which makes them stupider. So it just keeps adding, right? You just keep adding many, many levels to this whole equation. Now, you're going to say, well, Gary, you still haven't proven to me that men are smarter than women. And it's true. What I did is I alluded to it. I just told you about the facts and the figures, and I'm not really showing you the facts and the figures. But there's all the facts and figures are there for you to go look at and look up. They're all there. And intelligent people, brave people like myself, have no problem talking about them. All the facts and the figures are there. It's just like, I hate to break it to you, but we got the facts and the figures on the black crime. It's not you just saying that I'm not allowed to say them, or those are hate facts. It doesn't make a hell of a difference. It doesn't change the facts. Actually, you can change the numbers that are written down on the piece of paper, but you can't change what are you doing? You're just covering it up. Well, you just want to cover up black crime, do you? Because you're woke? You're super woke? You're stunning and brave, are you? You just want to cover up the black crime? Well, What do you think that actually does to black people in these black neighborhoods that are full of crime? You think that's good for them or bad for them that you're just covering it up and not talking about it? No comment. See, it's better that we be honest with one another and tell each other how things actually are so that we can deal with things. Because like I said, once you're on a train and you veer and you enter a stupid idea, then that can create a fork in the road, and you can go down the road of stupid all the way to fucking the end of Stupidville. You can be so goddamn fucking stupid that you can't even see the fucking... It's just like all the gay tranny stuff. Us old gays just wanted to be left alone. Just don't come and hunt us. If you don't want us to work with you, hey, we can deal with that. We'll set up our own businesses. And we did, and we were successful. All we needed you to do was leave us alone. It's just like me as a libertarian. All I want is the government to leave me alone. Just leave me alone. That's what libertarian really is. Libertarianism actually is. Just leave people alone. And yes, I hate to break it. All these people that just think, well, we need some charity over here and we need charity. Well, if that's what you think, then you go do it. But don't force me into your charities. Because, like I said in the beginning of this, the first person to force other people is the immoral one. You're the wrong person. The first person to introduce force into anything, and any argument, anything that happens in your entire life, go back, and if you want to know who's at fault, the person at fault is the one who introduced force in everything. It works 100% of the time. The lesbians that went into the cake maker and said, "Bake my cake." No, they're the assholes because they brought force to the situation. It works 100% of the time. If you want to know what the correct way of living life is, it's don't force yourself on others. The first person to bring force into the situation is the wrong one. It's kind of like there was a situation a little while ago where a guy. Okay, so let's just say it. A guy punches your friend. Okay. Now, and you see it, and you're like, you just jump in and you fucking grab that guy and you restrain him or you punch him back or something. It's okay. You're a good boy. That equals good. You have no problem. You were defending your friend, and the force was happening, and that's self-defense. Okay, that's not force. But if he punched your friend, and then your friend told you the next day, and then you went to go look for that guy, and then you punched him, now you're the asshole. That's just how it works, folks. You're not defending anybody. You're no longer self-defending. You actually went to the force ended the previous day somehow. I don't know how it ended. This guy punched your friend, and then it ended, right? And then you went to go bring another force. You went to go bring another punch to somebody. 2 separate incidences. If it happened in the moment, you're fine. You're a good boy. But if it happened the next day, you're not a good boy. And it's just like when somebody robs you and then they run away, you're not allowed to shoot them. And the reason is because if it's clear in the court stuff, if that person is no longer a threat to you and they're literally running away, you shooting them in the back as they're running away is you are now the bad guy because you introduced force when force was not necessary. That was retaliation. You were like, you're not going to get away, bang. You were no longer defending yourself. It happens, it's 100% of the time, you can use my equation. The first person to bring force into the situation. Now you have to understand it, and you have to really think, and you have to dig deep into each of these situations. But the first person to bring force, as soon as you want to force somebody else to do something, you're the bad guy. It's just that simple, folks. And taxation is theft. And government is the monopolization of the use of force, which makes them immoral and the bad guys. It's everywhere else. They say the first person to bring force to the situation is bad, but the government is exempt from it for some reason because we're special snowflakes up here. Anyway. So, wow, I got off track there. Now, so I hopefully have convinced you that just the concept of sports is enough for you to understand that physically men are superior to women. And I alluded to all of the reasons why, or to the facts. I alluded to the facts. You can look them up yourself. I'm not going to be bringing it all up. It's all out there. You have to dig deep because there's all sorts of feminist propaganda that is trying to discount these facts. They're trying to erase them by piling it on, writing libraries of information on top of this stuff, trying to excuse it away, trying to figure out some way, shape, or form, some corner, some deacon dodge. And by the way, they did the same thing with slavery back in the day. What the government said, oof, we got this Constitution thing here, but we don't want black people to be considered. So, okay, we don't want black people to be protected by the Constitution. So how do we get this done? And this is Big Daddy government doing it. They've been bad then, and they're bad now. Hitler was bad, Stalin was... They're all bad. They've always been bad, and they always will be bad. That's their job. They've got a bad job, and they like it. They're all assholes, every single last one of them. Every single one. Are some worse than others? Sure. But if you think that you can rule, again, if you think you're the man to rule over people and tell them how to live their lives and what they can and cannot do, you're the bad guy. That means politicians are all the bad guys, 100% of the time. So if sports is not enough, if the physical differences between men and women, most people, when they're presented with this, are like, well, okay, I have to admit that part. It's kind of undeniable. It's unmistakable that physically, yes, men are like. There's no rule in the NFL that women can't join. They don't join because they would be torn into pieces in one tackle. They would be broken into many pieces in their first game. You know what I mean? But there is a rule that men cannot join the women's football leagues. It's the other way around. Men cannot join the women's teams, but women can usually join the men's teams. But they just don't because they can't. And like I said, there's a bunch of honesty out there. Now, some of these radical feminists are getting pissed off at the trans people entering the female, and it's just more examples, right? Men are superior to women in every way, and always will be. Now, I haven't got to the always will be yet. I haven't touched on that. And by the way, there's another piece to this puzzle that the ladies are going to want to stick around for. You're going to want to stick around to the end of this extraordinarily long conversation because it makes you look good at the end. Okay? I should have said that at the very beginning of this conversation. That at the end of this, you're going to look good. Dare I say superior to men. But we got to get there first. Because it's not superior because you're superior. It's actually, superior is probably a wrong word. Okay, I'll say the whole thing. Men are superior to women are better than women at everything and always will be because women are more important. We'll get there. Now, so what happens? Okay, so sports should be enough for you. And if sports is not enough for you to admit that men are physically superior to women, I don't know what to say to you. Okay, we have to move on in this conversation. You are not a reasonable person. You don't make sense. You can prove it to yourself. Just ask any man for an arm wrestle. You know, just find the closest man and ask for an arm wrestle. The evidence is very clear. Everything, you know, just ask, you know, everything is, it's super clear. Sports is the most ultimate example of male physical superiority. By the way, it's not just physical. I touched on the mental part, but I haven't proven it yet, but I will. So if you can't get past that the men are physically superior to you in every way, then I don't know what to say. You're just broken. You're ideological. You are just stuck. You're just going to stick your heels in, and you're just going to be stupid. You just refuse to let stupid pass you by. You refuse to let common sense, a reasonable conversation, you just refuse to be reasonable. So we can't talk to you. You might as well just check out now. Because it's like I'm literally telling you that that's the sun, and you're saying no, it's not, it's the moon, and I'm saying no, it's the sun, and you're saying no, it's the moon, and I'm like, well, we can't have a conversation. It's like, you know what I mean? 1 + 1 sometimes just equals 2. The male physical superiority should be extremely obvious to everyone. Now, we got to move on. So that's a big part of life. You know, 2 people, a man and a woman in an alleyway late at night, that superiority means a lot. Now maybe, you know, being a male person, being a mailman, it doesn't mean a whole lot. As long as you can do the walk, right? There are a lot of things where it doesn't matter because anybody can do it. But at the top, even, you know, but still, the averages don't change, right? Even at the mailman level, yes, she's doing it, and yes, he's doing it, but guess what? Maybe he can carry more mail. He can do a longer route. Maybe he can do all of the gear that they have to carry with them better, right? See, there's one sport where people talk about female superiority or equality, and that's shooting. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So a band carries up all your guns and all your bullets and all your guns and all your bullets to the top of the roof, and you can sit there like a sniper and shoot just as well as a man. But all of the stuff leading up to it, a man had to do. So you're talking about shooting a gun, pulling a trigger. You can do that as well as a man. So your eyesight is as good as a man, and your steadiness or whatever the fuck are the skills involved in shooting. You can do that one thing as good as a man, but all the stuff leading up to it, no. Like, did you carry your gun there? Well, no, I had my husband shooter and all the rest. And by the way, I don't know if this is 100% true, but you can push a button as good as a man, and your eyesight is as good as a man. Okay. Well, maybe there is one. And by the way, a sport is a sport. A sport, okay, so I'm going to tell you what the difference between a sport is and a game. A sport is You have to be physically, you have to be in shape to an extreme degree. The more in shape you are, the better. So you have to be a perfect physical specimen. If in this so-called sport, scare quotes sport, it's okay if you're a big fat slob, like bowling, or darts, or shooting. Pulling a trigger of a gun, like moving it around just a little tiny bit to aim, and you're opening your eyes and looking from sight to sight, and you're pushing a button, pulling the trigger. Are you fucking kidding me? That's not a sport. That's a game. And maybe at that game, I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I just defined the difference between a sport and a game. A sport is you have to be physically superior. That's a sport. A game is you can be a big fat slob and still be a world champion. Okay? Now, there's a little bit of crossover, like your sumo wrestling, but I would say that you're still physically superior there. You just want to be big and fat. You know what I mean, right? Bowling, darts, billiards. These are games, not sports. So that's my definition, and the world needs to listen to me and change all of their definitions and get all of these games out of the Olympics. But anyways, so I hope you, and by the way, even if you could, come up with a list of things that women are better than men at, it's like so microscopically small. It's like, really, it's like 99.99999% of the things done on planet Earth, men do better, and you found that 0.00001% of the things that women can do better than men. I don't know what to say other than you just proved my point. Okay? So, yes, exceptions to the rule prove the rule. And there's a good example. Now, now the mental part, the intelligence part. I alluded to it and I said some things, but I didn't actually go in depth. So what we're going to do is we're going to change course. And this is, by the way, what I'm doing here is called critical thinking. All you have to do is when somebody presents you with an idea, like men are equal to women, you got to go, are they though? And then you have to think. And then you just keep thinking. And then you just keep thinking. And then you just keep thinking. And then you write a book about it and make $1 million, which I'm going to just do this video here. And every time somebody comes at me with something stupid about men and women being equal, I'm going to just send them to this video, as long as YouTube doesn't take it down for hate speech. Oh my God. Talking about facts. When facts become hate speech, you know your society is in trouble. But anyway. So, I alluded to the reasons, to sort of some data, some information about why men are more, are brainier, are also intellectually superior to women. But I just sort of roughly went over them. I was like, yes, the IQ test exists, and it's between 5 and 10 IQ points difference, and because we're at white men anyway are at 100 average, that would mean that women are between 5 and 10% less intelligent than men. But then you add other factors too, and it just grows from there. Not to say that there isn't brilliant women. Like when you see, you're just being an emotional retard when you go down this road. There are some women that I fucking love, and there are lots of women that are way smarter than me. There's lots of women that are geniuses that I absolutely adore. These are exceptions to the rule, not the rule. Right? And oftentimes in life, we don't need the tippity top. You know, a mid-level person, say like we just need this level of person. Maybe that is a high functioning woman and then only a medium functioning man. But we need that. So really this high functioning woman is equal to the medium functioning man. But either will do. And that's the thing. But I still think we're moving off track. The reason, again, that this lie was sold to everyone was to get women into the workforce. And look at all of the fucking divorces. Look at the birth rates in the toilet. Anyway, we'll get there. Now, so I've alluded to the mental superiority of men, but now we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to pause that conversation, and we're going to switch gears. Because this is really what I did. This is how I went through the thinking process, and I went through everything, and got to this conclusion. And I did it with a lot of help. Walter Block, Stefan Molyneux, I would say those are the two really big ones. Both libertarians, by the way. See, with a libertarian, we don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. You know, Ben Shapiro made that popular. Unfortunately, just don't criticize Israel because he gets really butthurt. As soon as you talk about not doing the neocon wars and stuff like that, he gets really butthurt, and then he gets all emotionally angry. So I would like to, when we criticize neocons, Ben Shapiro, I would like to remind you that facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah, this Israel thing and all of these fucking endless wars and the Federal Reserve going to infinity and all of this bullshit. Yeah, it's all crap, and it's all based on your feelings. Well, we're just gonna help God along by you know trying to make the Bible actually happen in real life, and then maybe the Messiah will come back. Okay, yeah, that's. I don't think God needs your help or wants it, to be honest with you. And I think it might be. Do you remember the Tower of Babylon? Trying to reach God, trying to arrange life, to connect, you know, to make it happen. Yeah, if you're a Bible person, you might want to revisit that story when it comes time to. Let's try to make rearrange Israel so that the Messiah can come back in our lifetime. Because, you know, I'm the most important Jew. All the Jews that came before me, yeah, and after me, it's I'm the Jew. I'm the right Jew. The Messiah should come back when I'm alive, and I'm going to just try to make it happen. Rearrange Israel so that it can happen, so that, you know, the chosen people can do all the chosen things. And then the Messiah can come back and ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I don't think God wants you to be, you know, to be doing that. Okay? Anyway, I think it's actually really a bad idea. Again, look at the Tower of Babylon. Babel. Anyway, now, so, and even if you want to forget about the Bible stuff, it's a shit show. It's a dumb idea, plopping yourself in the most sacred of all places, the most, I don't know, touchy of all places, and just say, we own this now. And now we're going to have to destroy our neighbors forever and fight forever, and it's just going to be one big fight forever and ever and ever. And everybody, you know, all the blood that's going to be spilled and all the time, money, and resources that just to protect this thing, it's going to be a shit show for infinity. But we're up for the task. Anyway. Now, so, let's skip to the beginning of time. And this is a conversation from Walter Block that just amazed me. Now, he didn't conclude, he left you to conclude, because he didn't actually want to say the sexist things. He didn't want to say the conclusion, but he was certainly basically telling you to think them. And this is how it went. He said, pretend that you had two parallel universes. Okay? Two exact... Now, you could say tribes. You got tribe A and tribe B, both with 100 people in them. And the men and the women in both tribes are identical. They're identical in strength, skill, intelligence, everything. Both men and women in both tribes are identical. In both tribes, they have 50 men and 50 women. 50 men and 50 women. A and B. Identical in every way. But the reason why you might want to use parallel universes is because they never meet, and they live in the exact same environment. Exactly the same environment. Everything around them, every deer acts exactly the same as it does in amongst tribe A and tribe B. Every saber-toothed tiger acts the exact same. Every tree is exactly the same. Every blade of grass is exactly the same. Every insect is exactly the same. Exactly identical. And the men and women are also identical. Well, okay, they're same strength, same intelligence, same everything, same brain size, same skull size, same everything. So I guess you could say a feminist utopia, exactly the same. But here's the difference. Women make babies in their bellies, in their wombs, and men don't. That's it. You just brought one kink, one thing, one difference between men and women, and that is the definition of a female in everything is who makes the baby in their belly. That's the female. If you make the baby in all species and everything, if you make the baby in your belly, that means you're a female. There's some variations of this. Sometimes they lay an egg, but the female, that life-making thing is a female. The male adds a seed, and that's it. Man adds a seed, and the female, squishes out the baby, either in an egg for it to form later on, to break free later on, or to be eaten by a snake or something. Or, men add the seed, and women do the baby making belly thing, and that is the difference between male and female, and it always has been. And no, just because you say you're the opposite of what you are doesn't mean that you are. That just means you're an ideological LGBT fucking retard. A dumbass fucking dummy. You don't get to just say blue is red and for it to be so. I mean, the fact that they're teaching this in school, that just shows you the state of school. Yeah, that's a car. No, it's a tree. No, it's a car. No, it's a tree. And they're teaching you that in school. That car can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a tree if you want it to be. It can be a goat. It can be whatever you just say it, and then you are a special snowflake. And the fact that they're teaching this in school, it's absurd. You wonder why more girls are going to school than guys? Because they're stupid, and they're taking these stupid courses to learn to become even stupider. When I hear the thing saying that less men are going to school, I'm looking at the state of school and going, no, that's a smart thing to do. Steer clear from that, stupid. You pay all this money and you build up all this debt to become dumb. Extraordinarily dumb. And then you're probably, when you get out, you've ruined your body, you've taken some drugs, and you cut off your tits, and you cut off your dick, and all the rest of the fucking bullshit. You wonder why men are steering clear from school? I don't consider that a bad thing. See, when the conservatives were starting to say that less men are going to college, and college is evil, I was like, well, you put the two together, mate, hey, that's a kind of a good thing, eh? But for some reason, they didn't connect those dots, and I was like, I connected them. So good for you. You think cars are trees, and you're $100,000 in debt. Good for you, girl. You go, girl. And then the rest of us have got to spend, years and years and all of our time, waste all of our time convincing you to stop being a stupid dumbass. We could be doing something productive, like furthering humanity, but no, you decided to go down the road of stupid, and now we have to waste all of our time bringing you back to fucking common sense, because you decided to fill your head with stupid. Wasting everybody's time. We could be curing cancer and building spaceships and all the rest of it. And you wonder why we're not? Because we're fighting slave owners, government, and all of the stupid people that it makes. Feminists. That's why. If you're wondering why we don't quite have the 2001 A Space Odyssey, or the, I forget, Back to the Future yet, that's why. Because too many of us are stuck fucking pulling you out of the fucking stupid head, pulling the stupid out of your dumbass head, instead of fucking building spaceships. You're slowing us all down. Because, yeah, you're getting power and you're getting influential. And you're cutting off your body parts and calling it stunning and brave. So we're stuck here trying to yank the stupid out of your stupid head instead of curing cancer and other good things that could propel us forward. And the government loves it, by the way. They just fucking see it. As long as I've got my money. As long as I got my money. We need to... Bernie bro. I'm a Bernie bro. More government, more money. Gulags aren't as bad as you thought they were. Fucking stupid. Fucking stupid! Stop being so stupid! Now, so like I said, I've proven the physical, and now, okay, so now we're Tribe A and Tribe B. Exactly the same environment, men and women are identical in physicality and intelligence. The only difference is boys just plant the seed with their pee-pee, and the girls make the baby in their belly. And guess what else? Feed the baby with their boobs. We're cavemen. Beginning of time, the beginning of humanity. There's no language, there's no doctors, there's no electricity. I'm not sure. I think, well, I'll give you fire, but that's it. You, as a human everything, human, homo sapien, you have fire. But you don't have language, there's no books. You're grunting and groaning. I don't know what tools you're using, if any. I don't know what tools you have. You got fire. Say you just had fire. Like, fire is commonplace, but that's the most technologically advanced thing you have. Now, I don't know if you're using tools very well yet. You probably are, because actually you built fire, so you're probably using tools. I don't understand the whole thing, and you don't have to. All you have to do is remember that we are really, 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 really long time ago. And none of the modern things that you see around you exist. You're living in a cave, you got some fire, maybe you sharpened a bone with another bone, and you use it to hunt and to carve up meat and stuff like that, but that's it. Your wife's, your sexy, super mega hot wives, probably more than one, maybe just one, I don't know. I don't know if we were doing that. But she still has, she still looks like a half a gorilla, just like you do. We're apes, right? Long time ago. Everything. Cavemen. And I'm just going to say, at this point, I'm just going to pretend that we are identical. Absolutely 100% identical. We're not. We would have started, we had to separate. Men were becoming better since the beginning. The very, 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 very beginning of all things. When we were just a cell. Primordial soup, whatever you want to call it. Adam and Eve, if you prefer. But let's just do the thought experiment of men and women are identical. Now, in Tribe A and identical environments, 50 men, 50 women, 50 men, 50 women. Okay, Tribe A, but they never meet up. There's no other people anywhere. Tribe A sends the men out to hunt, and Tribe B sends the women out to hunt. Tribe A sends the men out to hunt. They're just as physically capable and as intelligent. We're still, cavemen. We're really dumb, like really, 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 really dumb. Comparatively speaking, we're just, evolving apes. We got some fire. I don't know what that really means. I'm sure we probably have a couple of tools. I don't think we've even entered the Stone Age yet. Are we using stone tools? I don't even know what the Bronze Age really means. I don't know what age we're in, but it's a long fucking time ago. And there's no buildings, for sure. We're living in a cave. So, Tribe A sends the men out to hunt, and Tribe B sends the women out to hunt. Which one survives? Which tribe wins the ability to live? Which one flourishes and which one dies? We already know the answer to that, right? Right? Of course, you can't deny, right? If you send the men out to hunt, like they're hunting saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths, and they got snakes, and they're trying to plan and strategize, and they're gonna sometimes they're gonna be dinner. Sometimes they will hurt themselves on the hunt, and because there's no medicine, no doctors, right? They're gonna die of infection. If you fall and break your arm, are the ladies gonna even want you around? Because you can't hunt, you're just dead weight, right? Or you send the women out. Now we know the drive to pee and vajayjay, right? There's nothing going to stop that from happening, right? So she's pregnant. She's out there on the hunt and she's pregnant. And what about all the babies that have already been born? If the women are out hunting, pregnant, which equals disabled, they ain't got the maneuvers, right? They ain't got even though we're starting out with in this thought experiment, they're identical, but the pregnancy itself is a disability. You're not climbing trees and doing that as well as the men could, right? And plus the babies at home, all the babies at home, they're not being fed. There's no boobies around to eat from because they're all out hunting. And sometimes a hunt could take all day. You can't do that. Kids got to eat every few hours. What I'm saying is it's completely unreasonable to think that women were going to be going out and doing the hunting. Right? Completely unreasonable. Of course, the women are going to have to stay at home, stay at the cave, pregnant, disabled, because you're going to be always pregnant. You're going to be pregnant your entire life because there's no birth control. There's no modern anything. Put your brain inside the caveman. This is called critical thinking, folks. You got to rewind the clock to the beginning of everything to find out why. Like when I'm thinking about why are men and women different, I just keep moving backwards, keep moving backwards, keep moving backwards. And like I said, Walter Block, a prominent libertarian, gave me this story. He told this story in one of his lectures. And it's an unbreakable way of thinking about men and women. Unbreakable. Unbreakable. You cannot argue with this. If you're pregnant, then you're disabled. And you're not going to be a good hunter. And if you die, then that baby in your belly also dies. Whereas the men and one woman can only make one baby a year. And hey, in the world of in the past, a lot of times that there was a lot of death, but there was no doctors, there was no nothing. You'd be lucky if you had another, cave girl to help you deliver the baby. You're probably just squatting over some freshly pulled down leaves, squatting over that, and then, I don't know, take your baby down to the river after you gave birth and clean him off, or her off. And by the way, all you had to do was look at the pee-pee or the vajayjay to know the difference. Oh, we got a baby girl, or we got a baby boy. But now, your governments, your stupid schools, and all of the stupid people that have just gone down stupid train track to Stupidville, we got to waste all of our time bringing them back instead of building the future. Anyway, so it should be clear, right? Now this is another very clear, super 100%. Just like the sports were for the physical differences, now we're back in caveman days, and we're saying it's completely unreasonable to think that women were out there doing the hunting. They had to stay at home because they were pregnant, and being pregnant is a disability. It is. It just is. You need to be at home and rest. And yes, you can do things. You can move around and do stuff. And then those early babies, especially the early ones. And if you were pregnant all the time because of no birth control, and those peepees always just wanted to find those vajayjays, that's how we got here. We need to worship that. It is the reason we exist. Peepees, just seeking out all those vajayjays. If the peepees didn't want to seek out the vajayjays, like a guided missile, then we wouldn't be here. If sex was a chore for men, instead of like a driving need, an absolute driving necessity, and by the way, it is a necessity, getting that sperm out is an absolute necessity. It just fucking, whoa! Women don't understand, and it doesn't matter, just enjoy the ride. Literally. Enjoy it. It's just the way men are. Especially young men. So, and it's the reason we're here. So the PP is gonna, and so we were designed that way. God made us that way, or science made us that way, and that drive for men to have sex is the reason we're here. So don't fucking shit on that drive. It's just men are pigs, and that's what we are. That's how God made us, or that's how Mother Nature made us. Whatever you float your boat. So women are always going to be pregnant, always. So you're always going to be disabled. by having a baby, or you just got finished having a baby, and now you're going to have another one, and you're probably having a baby every year. Often, unfortunately, because of the baddie bad advancements, probably half of them are going to die, maybe even more. 3/4 of them are going to die, but whatever. You're still going to be pregnant. You're still going to be spitting out babies all the time. And you're disabled because of it. And not to mention that, but you also have all these other babies, right? The ones that lived, the ones that survived, and they're all crying and hungry as hell. Crying and hungry, crying and hungry, crying and hungry. So it is completely unreasonable for you to go on a hunt for a buffalo. It's completely unreasonable to think that your disabled pregnant body, even though in our thought experiment, men and women are identical, it is completely unreasonable for you to run out there in your bare feet and your pregnant belly to go hunt the fucking saber-tooth tiger. And plus, if a woman died during the hunt, which would happen often, right? You just get a big-ass cut, and you could die from the cut because you don't know anything about cleaning it or giving it antiseptic. You know, there is no medicine. There's no cleaning it. So it literally just, it gets infected and you die. So the baby inside of your belly dies, plus all of those babies back home that needed your boobs to feed off of. So all those other babies died too. Now you could say other women could take up the slack, but maybe we're solitude. Maybe we're just one caveman, one cave woman scenarios. I don't know. Maybe a historic. This is a thought experiment, but based in reality, based in facts. So you have, so like I said, when you go back to the beginning of time and you realize that there is no medicine, there is no doctors, there's no buildings, there's no electricity, there's no medicine, there's no language, we're primitive cave people, a man can, like, literally fuck multiple times a day. He could make all the babies with hundreds of women. One man could literally impregnate hundreds. So the baby making potential of a man is pretty much infinite. The baby making potential of a woman is 1 per year at the best. And in those days, like I said, a lot of those babies were dying on their own. So which one is successful? So all we've got is the reality of females make babies in their bellies and feed the babies from the boobs. And the man just plant the seed. And really want to plant the seed. Just love planting the seed. Just can't plant enough seeds. Every day planting more seeds. Okay? It's a biological reality. And another biological reality of babies in bellies and babies on boobs, eating lunch every few hours. So I want to now. So obviously we're at the same space. We should be. Of course, the men were going out to do those things, the dangerous, risky jobs. Of course, the men were going out there to do the hunting. Of course. Because a woman was disabled inside of her belly and attached to each of her boobs. That does not make a good hunter. Even if we were equal at this point in time, in our thought experiment we are, it doesn't make any sense that she would be out risking her life, pregnant. You know, she's a completely disabled human being. Now, it's a lovely way of being disabled, really. Being pregnant and all these kids. I think sounds pretty lovely to me. Sounds a hell of a lot better than going out there and risking getting eaten by the saber-tooth tiger. You were trying to kill it, but it ended up killing you. That's why women needed to be kept safe. Just the survival of humanity equals men go out there and do the risky, dangerous stuff. And yes, when they get home, they want to plant all the seeds, peepees and vajayjays all over the place. But women were in the cave, safe and sound, or as safe as they could get, with the baby in the belly. Yes, they were doing things, but mostly it was taking care of babies. Because that's just the way it was. Because if you did it the other way, it would take no time at all for that tribe to die. So it's literally just survival. Because the tribe that said, well, the men are going to stay at home while the women go out there and do the hunting, well, that tribe died. They no longer exist. The babies died, the women who were pregnant died, and so on. But in the other one, where, say, maybe only one man died per tribe going out, I don't know how it works. If there were tribes or we were, solitude or whatever. But anyway, that one man is kind of expendable, replaceable. Whoever, all the babies that he made with his pee-pee, well, another man can just pull up and do that. So, because survival equals men go do the risky stuff while the girls stay at home barefoot and pregnant. Yeah, I said it. Being pregnant and taking care of the babies. While the men were out there doing those things, guess what? They were evolving. The weaker little weaky little ones would die. Right? If you were weaky little skinny weaky out there trying to, hunt, climbing trees and setting traps and fucking trying to stab them before they eat you. Right? I don't know what tools you had. It certainly wasn't a gun. It certainly wasn't a department store for you to go buy your steak at. Or a McDonald's, right? You were hunting saber-tooth tigers and buffaloes, and if you didn't, then everybody at home, everybody in the cave, all the women and all the babies were just fucking screaming at you, kicking you out the door, by the way. You get out there, fucking, I've been listening to fucking, I'm not being accurate, but it's the sentiment. All these fucking babies are fucking hungry. We haven't eaten in fucking 3 days. You get out there and fucking bring home some fucking... And that's where the nagging comes in, by the way. Nagging is natural. A woman nagging a man for more? You get out there and fucking bring home the bacon. You get out there. I'm sitting at home in the fucking cave and all these babies are screaming because they're hungry and my tits aren't producing any milk. You get out there and fucking make some more money. So, here's the thing, too. Dear ladies... your behaviors can be excused too. So when a man starts yipping and yapping about you being a bitch and you yelling and screaming and you just say, well, it's natural. Me nagging you for more, me wanting more, me wanting to shop and have all these things, well, that's natural. Just as natural as you want to fuck me. You know all that pee-pee and the vajayjay stuff? Yeah, me nagging you for more. Why don't we put in a pool? Why don't we put on an addition? Why don't we go on a holiday? Why don't we just more? That's as natural as a man wanting to put his pee-pee to seed up your vajayjay. So when he is like, Jesus Christ, will you shut up about wanting more? Say, it's natural, honey. Me nagging you for more is as natural as you wanting to put your pee-pee in my vajayjay. So, yes, I'll try to temper it. You try to, we can come to some agreements, but don't fucking tell them, like I said, it's a natural thing. And I can see it. Like I said, I can see a cave full of crying babies that are hungry because the boobs aren't, and you, the cave woman, saying, fucking you get out there and fucking bring home some food. We're fucking hungry. Get out there and you fucking, I can see it, right? Completely, completely reasonable. And I bet you that the better naggers got more resources. They got their guys to get out there and fucking, and manipulation too, because as the guys were out there getting stronger and smarter, women had to manipulate them in different ways. They had to learn a different strategy of kicking his ass out the fucking door to fucking go bring home some more bacon. Literally. So women became masters of the chat. And as I said, one of the things that women aren't equal to men on this front, but they're close. It's manipulation, storytelling, chitty chat, chatty chit, talky, talky, talky. Now, caring, they're good at that. But see that it was just something that I don't know. The nurturing side, they want to do that. They're naturally pulled to that. They're women. Just go back to the caveman, of course. It's like a happy baby isn't screaming and yelling and driving you up a wall. Right? And if you just decided to go for a walk because the babies were getting out of control, and you came back and you found out, a bunch of hyenas that ate all the babies, when the dad comes back, he's going to be fucking pissed. Right? So there's no way for you to get away from it. I mean, he is fit. So, but him going out there and hunting and strategizing, the weak ones would fall by the wayside because they would become lunch. Instead of bringing home the bacon, they became the bacon. And the strong ones would pass on their genes. So whatever was in their seed that was, kind of superior to the next guy, that got passed on. The retards, for example, a lot of incest was going on. So those incest, cavemen, cave women, just didn't survive because they would get eaten because they were too stupid. Because of the incest stupid brain, right? Or deformities of some sort. They wouldn't survive. So it was just the evolution of superiority. And then it kind of kept building and building and building. When you're out there and you're hunting and you're strategizing and you're evolving the men of the species to become more. Now, some of that superiority will squish over to the female of the species. But I'm just saying, if you just take a look at, what the men. See, if you just sit around and do nothing, you're going to become a weak, fat slob, right? But if you're out there doing and doing and doing and doing, you build your muscles, you're thinking, you're strategizing, you're creating new ideas, you're connecting brain cells, synapses, you're just connecting, you're doing, you're strategizing. You are growing, you're evolving to become smarter and stronger. Whereas you at home are not, you're not risking your life. Yes, you're kind of sitting there bored, which is why you end up becoming good storytellers. You get the other ladies together and you just start talking, and then you start talking to your kids, and then you're watching them play, and you're evolving sort of socially. And the men are kind of social out there, kind of coordinating the attacks and stuff. But it's very dangerous, and it's very physically demanding, and it's dangerous. So the smarter you are, the better. Like, intelligence, you're really, because being stupid out there on the hunt could mean that you die. Right? You're hunting the frickin' woolly mammoth, right? Being stupid could mean your death. And probably did quite often. Your sperm is replaceable because, men can just create sperm all over the place. So that's why you're out there doing this. Well, she's at home, barefoot and pregnant, with a kid on each tit. So thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years of this, right? We slowly started to climb and do the technology, but it took thousands of years. Thousands of years of evolution. But 100 years ago, by about the year 1900, women were like, well, everything out here is kind of built up really good, and the men have all these the dangers out of control. We got butcher shops, and we don't have to hunt anymore, or not hunt all the time. The year 1900, we're still doing a little bit of that, but things are pretty safe. We've got the engineering, the houses are pretty protected, and so they're poking their nose out of the, and it's like, hey, maybe I could come out here and play. Come out here and kind of do what the boys were doing. Hey, my husband doesn't do any hunting anymore. He doesn't do anything dangerous anymore. But the problem is that we evolved to become so different by this time because of just survival. Peepees like vajayjays, and that creates babies. And the babies create handicaps for, risky, and the strategy just equals the men have to go out there and risk their lives. So even at the Titanic, right? Women and children first. When you look at the people who died and the people who survived, the men stayed back to die as they put the women out there because there's been an ingrained thing in our head that women are more important. And you know why? It's because they are. But by keeping the women safe and sound in the cave, protected from the dangers, and the children protected from the dangers, men were out there risking their lives, doing all the really hard, the super jobs. But while they were out there doing the super jobs, they were evolving to become bigger, stronger, and yes, smarter. Because women are more important, the baby-making abilities of women, the baby feeding off the boobs, all of that, the nurturing, the love, the guidance that's necessary. Well, anyway, the baby-making, the reproductive system, just that. It's only that we're talking about. That's it. The fact that women make babies in their bellies and feed the babies from their boobs is the reason why men are better at everything. Because they were out there exercising their physical, and it became a strategy to become bigger and stronger, and the weaker became lunch instead of getting the lunch. It's just common sense, folks. It's all just standard biological common sense. And women can complain that they're the ones making the babies. I don't care. It's the way, and even if you change that today, even if you changed it today, you're not going to erase all. You know how our DNA and how our genes and our bodies are made up? You're not going to change that in any short period of time. Even if you changed it today, you still got all of those years of evolution. We evolved to be different for different reasons. And while women were tasked with staying at home, being pregnant because they're disabled, taking care of children, and by the way, when these women saw that their man would come back with their arm chewed off, do you think that these women were like, like maybe one of the cave women were like, where is my husband? Oh, he died. Do you think these women were like, oh, geez, I just can't wait to not be barefoot and pregnant again and go out there like with the men? They were like, oh, fuck that. The men coming back with broken bones that there's no doctor around to fix, and then the arm stops working forever because they didn't know how to set the bone or whatever. You think that these women, see, like that's another myth, that women weren't okay with this scenario. Women were just barefoot and pregnant at home against their will. No, they weren't. They were seeing their husbands out there farming and breaking their back and doing all the heavy lifting and the extreme amounts of working their bodies to fucking hell and back. And they were like, and by the way, at the farming time, men and women are still very different still. Those farmer wives were sitting going, Jesus Christ, look at that man. I can't do that work. Now I'm grateful for him for doing it. And I'm like, it's just the way things are. So what I'm going to do is, because he's out there doing all this extremeness, back-breaking labor all day, every day, 16 hours a day on the farm, I'm going to try to make his life as pleasant as possible. Because after 16 hours out on the farm, the last thing you want to do is come home to fucking, witchy bite, So she knew that. And she appreciated it. Yes, she was making bread from scratch, and things weren't as easy as they are today for her either. But they've always been more difficult for men. Always. Men have always been the ones to risk their lives. It's because women are more important. The baby-making thing equals life. Without the baby-making thing, there is no life. And even today, as all these feminist societies, the baby-making shit is in the toilet. There's, no, I'm not going to make any babies, or I'm not going to have many babies. So you have to bring them in from other countries. Instead of making their own babies, they're just bringing in immigrants. Well, then you get replaced. So feminism is literally being replaced by non-feminism. Now you turn those non-feminist immigrants into feminists, and then the cycle just keeps continuing. Feminism is death. If your civilization is not going to make babies, then it's not going to survive. And we're back to the beginning of caveman days in our thought experiment. And our governments are just so set on all of these different ways to manipulate women and men to not have kids. Get all the divorces, cut off your wee-wee, be gay, don't have families, it's too risky, you can live a selfish life and just for yourself. And then we'll replace you with the people from overseas. And then slowly, in the beginning, they're going to be patriarchal and want to make all the babies like they used to in their country, Africa and the Middle East. But we'll get to their brains, and then we'll slowly chip away at them, and then they'll slowly start to make less babies. But by then, the ones who've been here for a long time are just going to fade away. And then they're just going to keep bringing more people in to indoctrinate them into not giving life to the new people. But it's still going to be taken over by the patriarchal, seed-spreading, baby-making cultures. Now, you can call it backward if you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You are being replaced by Africa and the Middle East. It's just the way it's going. If you're not going to make the babies, who's going to take care of you when you're old? Somebody else's babies. And we see the birth rates. The Middle East and Africa are making all the babies. But you've just got to go out there and be a secretary. Or you're just going to go out there and be an actor in television commercials. Or you're going to be a bartender or whatever, instead of being at home making babies. So that is death. It's the death of the civilization. It's the death of your genes. It's the death of civilization. This is what conservatism boils down to. It's just common sense, natural progression. Now, like I said, 100 years ago, say at the year 1900, men have evolved, humanity has evolved, to the point where it is pretty safe out there. 500 years ago, it was extremely hard. Like when I tell you about the men and the hard work that they did, it's extreme. And the women saw that. And they were like, well, this is, I got to stay here. And they were happy with the arrangement. But now things are so easy out there. Technology has evolved and everything has evolved so much that women are like, well, I can come out here and play with the men. And like I said, it doesn't erase all of the evolution and the gender, the sex differences that have evolved up to this point. All you're going to do is stop making babies and want to come out here and try to do some of the things that men do. And again, in an easy society, which this is, like you can walk to work and walk home and not have to worry about being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. A lot of men don't do physical labor. When you're an accountant, there's no more physical labor, right? We have evolved so that only a few men in society have to actually still do the really hard work. Only a couple here and there. They still exist. I'd say maybe 1 in 10 men are still doing the heavy, hard lifting, hard labor, and I love them for it. See, that's the thing too. These ones that are going out there and doing all the hard work that you don't want to do, and you have the balls to look down at them, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you disgust me. You disgust me. Looking down at the men that are still willing to go out there and do all of the heavy, hard lifting labor, you look down at them because they didn't go to college or something. The reason you get to go to college is because they built the college. They dug the sewers so you can flush your toilet. Don't you fucking look down at them. They're the reasons why you get the privileged life. You fucking disgust me if you look down at the blue collar. Disgust me. A bunch of men built a tower, and you climb to the top of the tower, and then you turn around and look at all those men that built that tower, and you look down at them? Fuck you. You are a scumbag. You are a narcissistic, egotistical scumbag. Shut up. And guess what? I'm going to say the same thing about the women. All those women out there that are stay-at-home moms, and they're doing their jobs. Taking care of the kids, taking care of themselves, taking care of the house, taking care of their husband, and, like I said, taking care of the community. Love you. That's the job. But now it's like, see, everything has gotten all mental, and government is at the source of it. This is why I'm a libertarian. But women are just kind of fucking the bad boy, which in caveman days, right? Now, see, everything makes sense once you start to think sensibly. In caveman days, the bad boy actually was a good choice. Because bad boy still meant you had to, like maybe you would steal the food from the other guy. Or maybe you would, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you would, oftentimes the bad boy would win. Right? Maybe the bad boy was just the big bully because he was super big. But the big guy is going to last longer and survive longer, right? And be able to bring home more bacon to the cave. So the bad boy, women liking the bad boy was a good strategy. The women liking the little nerdy, nothing, squeaky little boy toy thing, that wasn't even possible. Because he would be dead. Right? He would go out hunting with the other biggity big men and fucking just die. He'd fall and trip and be dead. He's gone. So there is a reason why girls like the bad boys. So, see, it goes into 50 Shades of Grey and Harlequin romance and even this Reylo thing. Yes, girls can get kind of crazy. Everything boils down to once you truly understand all the things, if you critically look at all of the elements of everything, then things just start to make sense. Think down the road. Go down the road of thinking. Use your brain. Use your wisdom. Use it. It's an invaluable tool. Men evolved to become better at everything because women are more important. Men are disposable. Their sperm, their baby-making sperm is a dime a dozen. Every man can fucking just create it in like an hour. Enough sperm, probably less than an hour. I don't know. You have to give him a bit of a break to build up again. But if you got a man really going, you could probably go, yeah, a young man, he could probably go every few hours, make another baby. Imagine, just think, if you were to try to maximize it, a young man, probably every, say, 4 hours, every 2 hours, maybe, maximum. You could probably get enough sperm out of there to make a baby. Just think, if one man could make, say, for 10 years, make a baby every, well, they have to sleep. But maybe you could attach something. I don't know, you know what I mean? Or even just one load, technically, you could separate it into many vajayjays. Millions of sperm versus one, maybe two babies. Right? Per year. That is this disposability of men. That's why men go to war. That's why men went out and did all the dangerous things. It's just survival, folks. It's common sense. But while men were out there doing all those things, they grow superior. They grew bigger, stronger, smarter, because they were doing all of these complex, dangerous things. And if they fucked up, they could die. So they didn't want to fuck up. So they did super. And then just think of what women were doing when they were back at the cave. They were taking care of the kids, right? Cleaning up around the place. Making sure the kids aren't fucking screaming their heads off. Feed them. Tidy up. Put the woolly mammoth bones over there in the corner. Or maybe go bury them so that it doesn't draw in predators while hubby is away bringing home the next set of bacon. Right? Maybe she's fighting off some snakes. Or maybe some predators got into the cave and she's got to fight them off. Maybe she, hey, I'm going to say something terrible. Maybe she offers one of the handicapped children off to the hyena so it leaves the rest of them alone. We don't want to think down that road. That's an evil road to think. But I've heard it done before and recently. Now, again, men's job, like we try to build these we protect and provide. But see, another thing is that's our drive, is to protect and provide. But as we try to break down all of these things, and once you enter bullshit like men and women are equal, and that, and you're saying some anti things like, yeah, don't worry about having kids. Just be selfish and go on holidays all the time. Really? Really? No kids? So now you're 60, and you have no kids, no grandkids. You're just 60. You're no longer young and pretty. The boys don't want you anymore. And it's just unnatural. This is what conservative means. Just fucking understand humanity, understand the nature of things, And quit trying to fight it so fucking much. You're a boy. You don't get to wake up tomorrow and be a girl. Men protect and provide. Women take care of the themselves, the kids, their home, and the community. See, the community thing is what drives me crazy. That was always a really big, important, awesome thing. Women staying at home get bored. But now you go, fuck, I'm bored. Now what am I going to do? Well, go knock on the neighbor's door and say, hey, yeah, you want to go for a walk with my kids? Let's go to the park. And then they do, and then they do this, and then they do this, and then they just, everybody gets together. Work together. The ladies are organizing and arranging and going shopping for this birthday party and doing this and doing that. And then dad comes home and everything is all nice and cozy. So he can sit and relax and then enjoy the home, the children, the pussy. Let's be honest, that pee-pee just wants to spread its seed all the time because she's well taken care of, right? And the community. He can go out there and say hi to Bob, the next door neighbor, and Sally, and just, you know, the weekend is all planned out because they got a birthday party, and then they're going to go see a movie, and then they got the sing-along at the old folks' home, and then church, and then this, and then that, T-ball, and, you know, that's the thing that she should, in my opinion, well, no, it's just, it is. It's a woman's job. Men's job is protect and provide. Woman's job, you know, choose the right man and nurture all of that. Nurture the protector and the provider and all the things that come with that. And that is babies, home, community, and society, really. He's out going to do the work, and she's going to be like doing the nice, the more emotional. Hey, imagine that, right? The emotional part of the lovely pieces of bringing communities together. Parties, citywide parties, block garage sales, you know, all sorts of activities all over the place. They used to be, and see, this societal stuff, as the women got the work done, they would be home alone. The man is off at work, or the man is out in the field, right? So the women got together, the kids were under tow, right? The women got together and they did quilting bees, and they were sitting around talking and discussing and planning and talking and organizing and keeping each other company, telling stories and talking and talking. There was no TV, right? So the women were getting together and, you know, gossiping, you know, like who needs what and what needs who, and is this a good thing? Is that a bit kind of being a moral police, self-policing with the moralities, right? Women, you think that all of the morals were dictated by the men? No. Women gossiping and deciding what was right and what was wrong is a big part of being a woman. There's a lot of, okay, I'll tell you the thing that impresses me the most about women. There's one thing that when a woman does, it brings me to tears. When I think about it, we usually take it for granted, okay? Everybody pretty much takes this for granted, but I want you to understand how big and powerful this is. When a baby enters the room, all the girls go crazy. A baby puppy, a baby bird, a baby duck, a baby chicken, a baby boy, a baby girl, a baby kitty cat, a baby anything. The girls all fucking lose their mind. And that is beautiful. That's it. That's all there is. Think about the family reunion where so and so had a new baby boy. You all went to the hospital and you said hello, but this is the first proper sort of visit, right? And the baby comes into the full house, the Christmas whatever, and that baby is taken away and passed from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman, right? These women can't get enough baby. Oh, they love the smell. Oh, did you poop? Oh, I'll go change the diaper. They can't get enough baby. That is the power of a woman. Kitty cats. Really, pets are kind of like babies, oftentimes, right? They love you unconditionally. They're kind of not very bright. They don't talk back. If you just give them the basics, then they're happy. They're like a baby. This is why women are drawn to veterinarian stuff. And then you got the nursing and teaching, right? That draw to love and nurture the young. That's your power. And you're being talked out of it. Just be a man. All these women in the movies, right? Just you're just a man with boobs and a vagina. You're the same as a man. You're just a man. Forget about the fucking lovey, nurturing motherhood. Forget about all that. That's just the old patriarchy talking, trying to keep you barefoot and pregnant at home. Fucking evil men. It's fucking. It disgusts me. They are that. You know, what? There is no equivalent for a man. I don't think. I think maybe a man swooping in to save the day at the last minute. You know, maybe I guess the equivalent would be the man on the Titanic putting the women and children in the boat and staying behind. But how often does that happen? Most men go through their life and that never happens, right? That could be the equivalent, the most powerful thing a man can do. Get between the bear and his family, sacrifice himself. That, I guess, maybe would be the equivalent. But a woman's power, we get to see that all the time. It's just, it just comes. It just instantly occurs. The baby comes in, the baby kittens, the baby puppy, the baby bird, the baby chicken, the baby whatever. And the people that got turned into babies. The men, the grown-ass men, maybe on the front lines of the war, they just got blown up. And now they've been shipped back to the hospital. And they're babies. They're unconscious, no arms, no legs, completely, eyes closed, maybe in a coma or something. They're babies. Woman comes in. Okay, I got it. it really pisses me off that women are being talked out of that. It's just so evil and upside down. But whatever, right? And these Hollywood movie types and the fucking, just like I said, once you go down road of the, we've veered so far off track, we're so far down the road of stupid. Yes, it can change. Of course it can. For God's sakes, we were doing slavery for how long? And now we don't. Well, most of us don't. Big ideas, like really big things can change. And this feminist bullshit of equality, which is not about equality anymore, it's just about stupidity. It's just about getting women away from making babies and into the factory to pay taxes to their fucking slave owners. And they dangle a little bit of freedom in front of us to fucking, to be more productive slave workers. But in the meantime, this female bullshit, everything that's going on in everybody's head is just so goddamn stupid and so easily provable false. Sports, all of the intelligent things. And by the way, when I said that women were getting together because they were bored, because their work was done and they just needed more to fill their day, because as, technology started to make labor-saving devices at home too, right? The women would get together and do things. And they were talky. So that's why you see, women kind of are pretty darn, get better at the talky professions. Writing, telling stories, teaching. The nursing comes more from the, here is a life that needs support. So I just automatically swoop in and take over. But when everything was done, then the excess time was getting together, talky, maybe reading and writing and stuff like that. And that's why, if there is a profession where there are some women that really excel, and legitimately, now they're not at the level of men, and that's whatever. It's just the way things are. And it all spawns from survival and PP wanting vajayjay, and then the person with the vajayjay making babies in bellies and feeding babies from boobs. It's just as simple as that. It's not will, it's not evil, it's not nothing. It's just survival and biology. But again, as the women had excess time and stuff, then they would get together and tell stories and talking to their kids, and teaching them about a little of this and a little of that, and explaining things, and constantly all day, every day. And then they get together with the other ladies, and then they have new kids to teach because the visitors from up the road came down. New things to talk about and explain. And then you talk to the woman about what's going on. You just wanted to fill, it was so silent, right? So you just wanted to fill the home with life and energy and talk. And now, unfortunately, the TV and the video games seem to be sucking the talk out of, a lot of spaces, family spaces, divorces, all the rest. But I mean, talking women out of seeing a life and wanting to zoom in and care for it, man, is that evil. And they succeeded. Now, there's a lot of very happy, content, conservative women, happily married. Everything's going great. And unfortunately, they're kind of quiet. They don't really talk much. Maybe some of them do here or there. Maybe they just hang out with other people like them. But these feminists is just like, yeah, don't have all the abortions, kill all the. It's like they're telling you to kill your superpower. Don't have kids, get the divorce, just keep bopping up and down on all those different boys, take the pill and stop the pregnancies. It's so anti women's power. Now she's fucking on the big silver screen, chopping and dicing and licing and chopping and just kung fuing her way through all the guys. Imaginary. It's all pretend. But that's what feminists want now. They just want this pretend. It's like if you fake it until you make it, or they're just living in a world that doesn't exist. Their mind, this entire mental space, and that's what's wrong with cinema. It's all gobbledygook now. The left has kind of gone full retard. Once again, I was around when straight people were hunting gay people down for sport. And that was bad. And then it stopped for a couple of decades. Now, gay people are going around hunting for straight people to hunt for sport. Bake my cake, you bigot. Wax my balls, you bigot. And that's also wrong. With the evolution of life and technology and stuff, yes, there's a new phenomenon, ladies. It's called you can leave your house and feel safe. Mostly. Humanity has built up this society so that's pretty goddamn safe. You can go shopping, it's like easy. It's pretty easy out there. And it is even possible that you could choose to not have children, not get married, and go out there and protect and provide yourself. You could earn your own money and protect yourself with maybe a gun, or just a super safe neighborhood, super safe life, or even the 911 phone call, right? So it's new. It is absolutely new, N-E-W, to the human experience, that women can do it. It's possible that they can do it on their own. There's no longer big fights, but at what expense are we doing this? Well, the children. The children aren't being born, and they're not being raised by their mother. That's who suffers. So, you can go out there and do those things, but there's nothing. It's like there's nothing behind you. And really, when somebody brings the baby along, it's just like all flock to the fucking baby. That's the superpower. You fucking working at the factory, or being a secretary, or being a bartender, or whatever it is the fuck that you're trying to do. Is it, like in the old days, women would oftentimes do some types of worky things. Work at, think of Little House on the Prairie. Work at the post office, become a school teacher, or, be a nurse or something like that. Up until they get married, and then they have kids of their own. And then they're like, well, okay, I did this little thing over there, but now I'm going to go and raise my own children. And then after the children, they make children, so now I've got some grandkids. And then if I'm lucky enough, I'm going to have some great-grandkids. Pawning off your kids at a, daycare center is just, you're missing, these kids are missing out on the magic of that love their mother. And it's all just so that you can pay taxes and make your slave owners more money. And by the way, that's not even true. Oftentimes, when a woman just stays at home and supports her husband, a good woman is a good wife and a mother in all the ways. Doesn't have to be an expert or an excellent, but just takes care of the house, takes care of herself, so that it's a pretty vajayjay to squish the seed inside of. In other words, don't sit around and get fat and ugly, and stop taking care of yourself. So take care of yourself, take care of the kids, take care of the house, take care of the neighborhood, community building. That makes a really, really super happy, well-adjusted, correct-brained man. And remember how I said that women who are less intelligent are more prone to stupid thinking, and that makes them even stupider? Like, this road of feminism, oh my god, it's so fucking off the rails, it's unbelievable. But it's the same thing with a man. A man with a super happy, healthy home is going to do better at work. A super happy, healthy home, all of the things, all of the support, all of the, just lifting him up, lifting, instead of coming home to chaos and destruction or loneliness. Now I gotta, order a pizza. Oh, I don't fucking feel like cleaning the bathroom, or this or that. I'm gonna skip cutting the grass. All of those things, right? He makes more money. He is properly brained. His emotions are in the correct spaces to make more money. I'm not joking. Literally, her staying at home and keeping that thing very good. All of the good stuff. Right? And making sure all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Actually, and creating a stress-free life for him, he is able to excel at work. And he will move up in the company. And guess what? It ends up being very same, very similar to what the dual income was doing. A single income from a man with a great support structure is making as much as two. But what's the difference? Happy, healthy home, community, neighborhood. She goes out and does some volunteering now and again. Maybe she has a part-time, she makes some candles at home or something, right? Happy, healthy, well-adjusted. And that shoots him up, that makes him in a better spot at work for him to climb the ladder, to think and strategize. But if he's sitting at work and he's just preoccupied with all the bullshit that's happening at home, and the fight and the anger and the anger and the fight and the fight and the anger, all of that shit, how am I going to do this? And the ba. Instead of going, having a clear mind and a happy, healthy, clear mind to excel at work. Oh shit, this person said this. Maybe I could offer to help, and that would kind of get me in good with this and be able to do this. right? Instead of somebody saying something and you just being too busy-minded with your personal problems to be able to function at work, right? That's a thing. It's a big thing. I don't know what else to say. Um, like you don't even need facts and figures. I don't need to show you IQ tests. You could have come up with this on your own. It's just this level of propaganda and stupid that they're just unwilling to. They just insist on the evil and stupid. And that's the problem. And then you buy into it. Maybe otherwise a good person, you buy into it, and then you just join the train of stupid, and you keep going down stupid road into Stupidville, and then the school tells you stupid, and then the Hollywood tells you stupid, and then the fucking TV and the news tells you stupid. I don't know why you're doing it. No, I get it. Most women have abandoned the feminism about equality, but it's just like you're fighting to be an asshole. You're fighting against yourself. It's like, I don't know, fighting for lower wages, fighting for an inferior life. And they've convinced you that this bad thing that you're fighting for is actually a good thing. Men have always had other men in check. Now, okay, women being able to own property and women um, not being touched if they don't want to be touched, okay, I can buy that. But was it really ever out of control? You know, if a man in the neighborhood was beating up his wife, right? And the wife came in to fucking buy some eggs, and we saw black eyes, right? She would lie to us and give us an excuse, and we'd go, okay. But then when he came into town, somebody would come up to him and say, hey, what happened to your wife? And then he would lie, right? And then we'd go, okay. But then the second time it happened, she would lie, and then when he came into town, he'd be like, hey, John, come here. I need your help with my wagon. And then there'd be some other guys there to teach him a lesson. Just like the Titanic. Right? Men were keeping other men in check. I'm not going to say it never happened, but women also were hitting men. Women hit children. You know? Violence is actually part of life. You're going to have to get over that. Just think, you eat animals. That's violence. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how vegan you are. Now, sure, maybe you are hidden from all of the actual, from the killing, but you're still eating it. Violence is everywhere. And you just have to get used to it. That's the way things are. But, so the end of this is men are better than women at everything and always will be. So, I said always will be. I think I've pretty much explained the reason why, even if these women all decide to come out here and do all the things men do, we can see the birth rate decline. And let's just say women, like they're aborting their kids and they're taking pills to prevent pregnancies. It's all anti-children, anti-children, anti-children. And even at the end of it, it's like oftentimes they don't have children. Or when they do, it's like to fulfill their lives. They're so selfish. And it's kind of gross. But, and oftentimes by the time they realize it, it's over. Their eggs have all dried up. They wasted their best childbearing years. Or they have one too late, and then it ends up with Down syndrome or something. Because old eggs aren't too good either. You need young, fresh female eggs to make babies with. Those old eggs don't tend to work so great. But the sperms just keep on coming. I think an old man's sperm is the same as a young man's sperm. It's kind of unfair, but, talk to God, talk to Mother Nature. Yes, people should be having children when they're young. And why? Because then they're young. When the little kid is running around, don't you want to be able to run around with them? What are you going to be, a 50-year-old man with a 10-year-old who's, like all pooped and tired out and old and fucking decrepit, and you can't play with your kids? You can't wrestle around with them, and you can't go to the park without fucking sitting down at the bench? Oh my goodness. I'm too tired, I'm too old, I can't do this, No, you want to be young, you want to be able to go out there and play with them. Run and deke and doove and play the sports and the games and go build a fort in the backyard and do all that kind of stuff when you're young. Raising children is for the young. Grandparents can, swoop in to give the parents a break, but they're too old, and the kids are too speedy. That's why you want to have them when you're young. But no, you just wanted to build a career, and then you realize that you're middle management at the marketing company, and it's kind of unfulfilling. Then you go, well, I'm pushing 30, maybe I should start looking for guys. Oh, where have all the good guys gone? Well, they got sucked up by all the good girls 10 years ago. It's the same fucking story all over the place, just told a different way. And I don't know what the fuck. Like I said, as far as living on the money part, keeping him super happy, healthy and stuff. And by the way, if he wants to, use you to get big in his career and then just throw you to the curb for a new one, I think we're all in agreement that he's got to pay. If he's going to be that asshole. But why is he this asshole? Why, what we all want to see is fewer assholes. Okay, he's an asshole. We'll call him that. We'll kick him to the curb. I don't know. I don't know why people can't stay together. Divorce rates are fucking out of this world. People have too high expectations. They think that they're going to be millionaires and everybody's going to be a princess and everybody's going to be a prince. Everybody's going to live the life of the people on the TV. All the money and, worshiping wealth. And if you don't have it, you say, well, I just, just being restless. And it's like, oh, I'm sure the grass is greener on the other side. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's better than what I got. Fuck the kids. They're just passengers in our boat. It's not good, folks. And like I said, the power of women is like I said, you want to see the power of women? Bring a kitten to work. Bring a little baby puppy to work. Bring a baby, human. And watch all of the women just swoon in and show their power. That's their power. It's not fucking, karate chopping men in movies. Oh, Lord. Anyway, okay, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to grab something to eat. Maybe we'll see you later on today. And, yeah. The reason my mouth moves is not to insult women. It's to just bring some facts and figures and common sense to the conversation. For God's sakes. We're so out of control and gone so far down the stupid road. Yes, a vagina does mean female. Like, I mean, God, how far down this road of stupid are you guys gonna take us? 'Cause I ain't fucking going, and I'm gonna just sit here and call you fucking stupid all the way. It's one thing if you want to be stupid yourself, but it's another thing if you're trying to convince everybody else to go on your stupid train and go with you down to Stupidville. Okay? That's the difference between your fucking, it's not even politics. You can attach all sorts of political positions to many things that I said, but I didn't say anything political, really. Sort of I did. Because politics is really about just life. Politics equals philosophy, and philosophy just equals life. It's kind of all boils down to the same thing. But it's what you do with each of those things that I said that technically becomes political. But I didn't say anything, really. I didn't talk about this party or that party. I just talked about fucking common sense, science. The reason why men are better than women at everything and always will be is I'm done talking about this. Is because women are more important than men. It's just that they make babies in their bellies, and because they make the life in their bellies, men are more expendable than women. So they should go out there and do the dangerous hunty, killy thing. And while they're doing that, they're growing bigger and stronger and smarter. That's it. It's not complicated, folks. Super simple. But you're going to be able to go to the Berkeley, California college campus and take a look at the feminist section that is completely 100% all dedicated, all government sponsored, all government supported, completely 100%, like thousands and thousands of books and papers and all this kind of stuff to convince you that what I just said is not true. And they've dedicated their lives to being stupid. They're on that stupid trade to Stupidville, and they're not interested in anything reasonable. And it's unfortunate, but whatever. What can we do? Just try to convince people to stop being stupid. There you go. Anyway, that's it for this one, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye now.